You know what I'm absolutely loving about this period of social distancing or relationship distancing, as I've been calling it, is that now is the time to honestly reflect and reset. For those of you who are in quarantine with your significant other, now is the time that you will really get to discover who this person is in a time of a crisis, who this person is when it requires them to step up and pull their weight around the household, not just financially, but to actually get up and help with chores, help with cleaning and cooking, because the helper can't come in anymore. She's in quarantine too, where now you guys are with each other 24/7 and there is no escape. There isn't work to go to. There isn't social gatherings where it's either a girl's night out or a guy's night out. There isn't family time that requires you to perhaps go and see your mother without him. You guys are with each other all the time. You're now going to start to see things that perhaps before you knew were there, but you didn't truly focus on. Even with those who are in quarantine without their significant others, this is now even more of an eye-opener, because this is forcing you to reflect on your relationship outside of the physical. Reflect on a relationship outside of being physically able to see and touch each other. Reflect on the relationship outside of physical intimacy, being sex. Now those physical things are not there. Sex can be such a beautiful thing, and it really can be what connects you as a couple, but it can also sometimes be a distraction in the sense that when the D game is good or when the P game is sweet, you tend to push aside the things that you might not really understand about the person or agree with, because physically you're so satisfied. And so things like the person's core values, their culture, tradition, how they were raised, who they are as people. When you aren't there physically with them, are they still nurturing you? Are they still feeding your spirit, your soul? Are they, if this was what you would do together, are they still calling you and saying, baby, come, let's pray over the phone, or messaging you or calling you to find out, like, how are you doing? Mental health, what's going on in your head? How are you physically? You know, are they still being present in that relationship when you're not physically there? And I ask you this question because the fact of the matter is, as we get older, as our relationship grows, it changes. Right now, you may not have many stresses or much stress rather, and you may not have a lot of things going on that you may have in the next 5 years with perhaps children, perhaps with moving into a house and now bills accumulate, being pregnant. Your sex drive and your will may not be as elevated as it is now when you don't have those stresses. So before, you may find that you're able to do it a couple of times a week, and then when all of these things kick in, it's just not as frequent. Who is that person to you outside of the physical? What is that relationship outside of you guys being able to physically connect? Because again, there is going to come a point in the relationship where your sex life isn't as hot. So what does that person offer you outside of that? I was having a conversation with my sister the other day, and I was saying to her, you know, my dad's passing has been the most painful thing in my life that I've ever experienced. It broke me, but in so many ways gave me strength I did not know I had. And one of the things, I mean, I can go on about the different lessons and the perspective I've gained, but one of the things I realized is even my taste in guys is starting to change. Before, I was one of those people, I mean, I didn't fall completely into it. I didn't go out seeking good-looking people, but I think I sometimes, even jokingly, entertain these memes where it's like, get you a good-looking guy so that you can have beautiful babies. The same with guys who talk about, I want you to have my kids, would have such beautiful kids together. What does that mean? What does that mean if you have good-looking kids, but you and that person are not here? You're not solid, you're not gold, you don't have a strong foundation. I mean, I really, I do not look forward to that day. I shudder to think of the next time I will experience loss and grief the way I am right now. But I know it's inevitable. I have so many loved ones that I am going to experience this feeling again. So who is this person? How are they going to help me through those moments? Because I can guarantee you the looks aren't going to help me. Who is this his core values, his principles, and this is where this comes back into play. When life gets real, those good looks will do nothing for you, baby girl or baby boy. Nothing. Nothing. So who is this person to you outside of all those, that physical thing? I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, but the whole point, tying it back into the whole, this is the time to understand who your partner is. Don't take it for granted. Really get to know who your partner is in this time. Because I'm telling you now, as life changes, as things get more real, if we experience a crisis like this again, if you personally experience a crisis, you want to be sure that the person you have in your corner has got you. That's just it. They've got you. You're not worried because the person has got you. So reflect and reset.